The Doctor's Journal is brought to you by O Snacks and Medical Associates Hospital.
What is one of the leading causes of disability globally, which affects nearly 50 million people in Latin America and the Caribbean? Can you guess?
It affects 5% of the world's adult population, with almost 1 million people losing their lives each year due to the progression of this disease.
Have you figured it out yet? If not, maybe this would help. This disorder is the leading cause of suicide worldwide. Today, we unpack depression.
Welcome to the Doctor's Journal. Hi, I'm Dr. Sunarine.
And I'm Dr. Mike. Today, we look at a non-communicable disease, which is more prevalent than many may know: mental health disorders.
More specifically, depression, which is a huge topic too often swept under the rug.
That's so true, Dr. Sunarine. In fact, according to CARPA, mental health disorders are now recognized as the 5th major non-communicable disease, posing a major threat to health and economic development in the 21st century.
We feel this quite close to home, with neighboring countries like Suriname and Guyana recording some of the highest rates of suicide in the world.
Wow. But after this episode, we hope you will understand just how common depression is, and also that it is a treatable disease. Today, 6 out of every 10 people who have depression in Latin America and the Caribbean do not seek or do not receive the treatment they need. Let's change this.
Yes, let's try. We should probably start by defining what is depression, how it can affect you or your loved ones. Depression, also referred to as major depressive disorder or clinical depression, is a common but serious mood disorder. It causes severe symptoms or patterns that affect how you feel, think, and even handle daily activities like sleeping, eating, or even working.
The term is often used fleetingly in pop culture to reflect mood fluctuations and short-lived emotional responses to challenges in everyday life. For example, feelings of tabanca, also referred to as heartbreak. This is different to being diagnosed with depression. In fact, symptoms of depression must be present for at least 2 weeks to render a diagnosis by a psychiatrist.
And depression isn't a one-size-fits-all. Not every symptom will be experienced, and there isn't one set treatment for those diagnosed. As this is a mood disorder, well, it's quite unique to each patient.
Well, first we should note that there are different types of depression. As you can see, up top is the most commonly reported major depression.
This exhibits symptoms that typically interfere with one's ability to work, sleep, study, eat, and it persists for a minimum of 2 weeks.
There's also persistent depressive disorder, also called dysthymia, which often includes less severe symptoms of depression, but lasts much longer, typically for at least 2 years.
We must mention perinatal depression, which occurs when women experience major depression during a pregnancy or post-birth. You may know this more commonly as postpartum depression, which we have seen here recently with some cases here in Trinidad and Tobago and even the Caribbean.
There is a less severe form called postpartum blues, but we also must be aware of this next one. This is depression with symptoms of psychosis. This is a severe form of depression where a person exhibits psychosis symptoms such as delusions, which are disturbing fixed false beliefs, or hallucinations, hearing or seeing things that others do not see or hear.
Individuals diagnosed with bipolar disorder, formerly called manic depression or manic depressive illness, also experience depressive episodes in which they feel sad, indifferent, or hopeless, combined with a very low activity level. Some of you at home may have known someone that may have attempted or committed suicide, and when you think back, you wonder, how did I miss the signs?
I know this is a lot to take in, but it is so important, guys. So keep an open mind, and please don't switch the station. We'll be right back to share some symptoms and patterns of depression you should look out for.
And maybe you can even save a life.
Medical Associates Hospital is the only internationally accredited tertiary healthcare institution in the Caribbean for quality in medical care. Medical Associates' gold standard for quality medical treatment, culture of safety for patients and visitors, care based on leading, evidence-based best practices and compliance with international standards make us the leader in private hospital care in the Caribbean. Medical Associates Hospital, #1 healthcare for the entire family.
Every year, over 145 million persons seek out the emergency room, most admitted due to ongoing medical conditions. Here on the Doctor's Journal, we aim to fix that by addressing the most prominent and devastating medical conditions faced right here in the Caribbean. And your product can help. If you or anyone you know has a product or service that you would like featured on the Doctor's Journal, contact us today at 266-SGPS. That's 266-7477, or email us at marketing@sgpstudios.com.
Today I would be speaking about the many benefits of pecans. Pecans contain more than 19 vitamins and minerals, including vitamin A, vitamin E, folic acid, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, several B vitamins, and zinc. According to studies, pecans also provide at least 10% of recommended daily value for fiber and is a rich source of protein. Pecans can reduce the risk of heart disease with abundance of good heart-healthy fats, as these unsaturated fats can have a protective effect by lowering total blood cholesterol when eaten in moderation. Pecans can be mixed into pancakes, muffins, or cookie dough, adding some crunch and protein to salads, oatmeal, quinoa, or yogurt, or even using pecan crust on baked goods such as chicken or fish are some easy ways to incorporate pecans into your diet. In today's recipe, we'll be preparing a banana pecan smoothie. First, we want to add 2 ripe bananas into a blender, then half cup of pecans. After I'm adding 1 cup of milk, it can either be low-fat or almond milk, and 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt, which is optional. Then we want to add at least a teaspoon of cinnamon powder and a dash of vanilla essence. Cover your blender and blend thoroughly until you get a smooth consistency or a texture that you like. It tastes delicious, guys. It can be served right away with ice or placed into your refrigerator for later.
Welcome back to the Doctor's Journal. If you are now joining us, we are discussing depression and how you and your loved ones can seek treatment for this condition.
Now, before the break, we promised to share with you symptoms and the patterns to look out for, which is so important for the management of the disease.
Hold up, Dr. Sunarine. Before we jump to symptoms, shouldn't we at least touch on why some people are affected by depression and others aren't?
That's very true. We are still learning so much about mental health and in particular depression, but all mood stems from one great place. With the advancement of technology in the medical field, scientists have been able to link specific parts of the brain to depression.
Depression is a complex condition that can be caused by a combination of genetic, biological, environmental, and psychological factors. Knowing and understanding these contributing factors help doctors better treat this disorder. Brain imaging studies show that there's a connection between depression and changes in several parts of the brain, especially the amygdala, the hippocampus, and the thalamus. The amygdala regulates emotions like anger, pleasure, and fear. The hippocampus processes memory and regulates the stress hormone cortisol, and the thalamus helps link sensory information to good or bad feelings. Can you see the connection between the brain and depression? Studies also found that when looking at the brain of a depressed person, there may be a decrease in the levels of certain neurotransmitters such as serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. These neurotransmitters are responsible for regulating mood, and when their levels are low, it can contribute to feelings of depression. Additionally, depression can cause changes in the structure of the brain. Studies have shown that people with depression have smaller hippocampal volumes, which is the part of the brain responsible for regulating emotions and memory. This can lead to problems with memory and concentration. Depression can also cause inflammation in the brain, which can contribute to further cognitive problems. Chronic stress, which is often associated with depression, can lead to the release of stress hormones like cortisol, which can damage the brain's neurons over time. Understanding these effects is essential to developing effective treatments for depression and improving the lives of those affected by this condition. If you or someone you know is experiencing symptoms of depression, it's essential to seek help from a mental health professional to receive an accurate diagnosis and effective treatment.
It's amazing how often we think that emotions are heartfelt, but it's actually all in the brain.
So, how do you know when the brain or the mind exhibits symptoms of depression? Well, if you are experiencing some of the following symptoms or patterns shown on the board, it is time to ask for help. First up, if you are persistently sad, anxious, or have an empty mood, feelings of hopelessness or pessimism, feelings of irritability, frustration, or restlessness, loss of interest in sex,
Any feelings of guilt, worthlessness, or helplessness, loss of interest or pleasure in hobbies and activities, decreased energy, fatigue, or feeling slowed down.
Are you having difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions? Difficulty sleeping, early morning awakening, or oversleeping? Changes in appetite or unplanned weight changes?
Pay very close attention if you have thoughts of death or suicide. Aches or pains, headaches, cramps, or digestive problems. Now, this is without a clear physical cause and which do not ease even with treatment. And most important, suicide attempts.
These are red flags, guys. Now, not everyone who is depressed experiences all of these symptoms, but you are looking for a pattern as well as the duration of time. If you or someone you know are experiencing any of these symptoms for most of the day, nearly every day, for at least 2 weeks, then you or your loved one may be suffering from depression. Seek out a medical expert. Don't be afraid, because it's disease, and it is a disease that is treatable and manageable.
Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we sit and talk to our expert on treatment options available right here in the Caribbean. You don't want to miss it.
Sneezing, sniffling, scratching? Reacted to your favorite food? Think it might be allergies? We at Allergenics provide personalized diagnosis and treatment for food, drug, contact, and aero allergens. Call us today at 480-4362.
The best for your baby is at thebesttoys.com. From the best strollers, car seats, baby carriers, high chairs, booster seats, rockers, jumpers and bouncers, walkers, baby blankets, feeding accessories, bathtubs, gyms and playmats, playpens, cribs, baby swings, changing tables, diaper bags, clothing and accessories, and the widest range of educational toys. We carry Infantino, Dr. Brown, Avent, Graco, Chico, Fisher-Price, VTech, Leapfrog, Disney Baby, Delta Children, Medela, and Twist Shape. Visit us in-store at Forces flagship McBean. Shop online now at thebesttoys.com. No credit card required. Free delivery throughout Trinidad and Tobago on orders over $300. Cash or links on delivery. Order via call or WhatsApp at 332-BABY. And remember, we have the best toys at the best prices.
Welcome back. Before the break, we promised to share treatment options for depression, and we like to deliver on our promises. So joining us today is Ms. Sandy to shed some light on this disease. Welcome to the Doctor's Journal, Miss Sandy.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us, what is the most common missign of depression?
The most common missign within Trinidad and Tobago would be substance use and abuse, particularly within our cultural context, because we generally like to line, we like to party, and we drink sometimes when we're happy, we drink when we're sad, we drink when we're frustrated. So substance use and abuse generally goes unnoticed, particularly within our male adult populations.
Okay, so what would be the other signs people should look out for depression?
Some of the other signs would include changes in appetite. You may be eating too much or too little, which would lead to either weight loss or weight gain. Sometimes we have persons who have lack of energy. We may sometimes have persons who have changes in sleep patterns. You're sleeping too much, you're sleeping too little. You go to sleep and you get up and you can't go back to bed. You have brain fog, concentration is now gone. You sometimes have persons who are sad. Among our adolescent population, you would find that those children are irritable or they may become angry. There are so many things. We even have sometimes outliers where you would find persons become extremely happy. And those are the instances when we know for sure it's a cry for help, because they have already made the resolution that they are going to either commit suicide or attempt suicide.
Wow. So when should somebody seek help?
Help should be sought all the time. We always need help, always. I mean, you can manage at home, taking care of the children, probably sending them to school, providing food, clothing, shelter, but it's always nice to have help, right? And it is the same thing with our mental health, because it gives us an opportunity to step back and to reflect and probably see things from a different lens that we're not accustomed seeing it at. Coping strategies, so much from just getting some help.
Yep. Everybody can benefit from that.
Everybody could benefit from that, yeah.
So who do you think is most at risk for having depression then?
So depression could affect anybody. So you don't wake up one morning and decide, oh, I'm going to get depression this morning. It doesn't discriminate. Anybody could be affected. Studies have shown, however, that it's predominant among the female population, and that could be as a result of predisposition, yes, but it could also be as a result of men not readily going and seeking help. And so the statistics it reflects there. Yeah. And we are so fortunate in Trinidad and Tobago that we have so many resources available. So we have resources like Childline, and these resources I'm calling are free. You have Childline, you have student support services that caters to the child population, school-age children. We have National Family Services. We have the Mediation Unit. We have the Ministry of Health would have revised a document just recently last year that caters to a listing of every single support system that you can possibly need within Trinidad and Tobago, and that is Find Care TT. It is free. Some persons shy away from utilizing free services. So you also have TTAP, which is Trinidad and Tobago's Association of Psychologists. We have places like Child Space. We have so many options available. So many options available. So I would always stress utilizing any one of the resources that are available.
Good for people to know, because a lot of people might not know that.
Might not know that,
Yeah.
Yes.
So if there are people at home who are experiencing these symptoms, what would you suggest they do now, or what's the next step for them?
The next step, find help. Find help. As I said, there are so many resources available. Utilize any one of them. Don't wait until it's too late. Utilize the resources that are available.
And if I understand correctly, for example, the Lifeline is where you can essentially just pick up your phone
and call, yeah. And it is a toll-free number. So you can call toll-free. The services
as long as you want.
Healthcare centers have services. Every healthcare center has a service. So you could go into your healthcare center, speak to your service providers there. They will give you the dates and times that you could come in, what is available to you. You have so many options, so many options.
Do you have any final words you'd want to tell our viewers, and that you think it's important for them to know?
I think it's important for us to know what is available to us as a population, particularly in the area of mental health, because we are a self-soothing population, we are a self-medicating population. Even as doctors, sometimes you may give a prescription to somebody and they might tell you, no, I will drink some bush tea and I'll be okay. Or they may go into a pharmacy and rather than seek the support of the pharmacist, tell, I want this. And it is the same thing with our mental health. Rather than go support or find support from a professional, we decide, a little drink by the bar, I'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll fix it like that.
Yeah, I'll fix it like that. And so it goes to the point where it's beyond and it's too far, it's too severe before they come in for help. And so we want to get you before that.
People, and at least in our society, a lot of people are afraid to say they need help.
Yes, exactly. Because the stigma associated, because of course, you know, we always have this saying, oh, that's not our thing, that's an American thing. That's not something we do. We don't need that.
Why
we just need that.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say, how come depression is so common now? It wasn't common long ago.
It's not that it wasn't common as well as all the other mental illnesses. It's not that it was uncommon, it was just undisclosed. And some persons would have refrained from going for support. But particularly with the younger populations, the adolescent school age populations, because there was the removal of corporal punishment, it forced us to see certain things that we didn't want to see in the beginning. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. This was so important to discuss and share with our viewers.
No problem, and thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Eat healthy and stay positive with O-Snacks Omega-3. Enjoy almonds filled with vitamin E, healthy fats and fiber. Walnuts may decrease bad cholesterol, lower blood pressure and provide diabetic support. Amp up your vitamin B1 with pecans. Pumpkin seeds are rich in iron, protein and zinc. Dried cranberries are an antioxidant, heart-healthy superfood. Boost your immunity with Omega-3 Mix. O-Snacks, a healthier choice.
The best birthday gifts are at thebesttoys.com. Shop for the best brands you love at the best prices. Like VTech, Leapfrog, Fisher-Price, Play-Doh, Hot Wheels, Barbie, Cocomelon, LOL, Baby Alive, Crayola, Lego, Nerf, and remote control vehicles, kids learning desks and educational toys, ride-ons, bikes, drones, science toys, and board games and puzzles, and a wide range of baby items. We also have the best devices for school, like laptops, the Amazon Fire 7 tablet, the Amazon Fire 8, 10, and Kids Edition tabs, as well as cases and accessories. Visit us in-store at Forces Flagship MacBean. Shop online now at thebesttoys.com. No credit card required. Free delivery throughout Trinidad and Tobago on orders over $300. Cash or links on delivery. Order via call or WhatsApp at 32DBEST to order. And remember, we have the best toys at the best prices.
Approximately 280 million people in the world have depression.
The disease at its worst can lead to suicide. You want to be concerned if someone you know has trouble eating or sleeping,
exhibits drastic changes in behavior, withdraws from friends or social activities, and loses interest in school, work, or hobbies.
talks about committing suicide or has attempted suicide before, someone who takes unnecessary risk and has recently experienced serious losses, someone who loses interest in his or her personal appearance, increases alcohol or drug use, and seems preoccupied with death and dying.
Listen, I have seen many cases of persons completing suicide in some of the most painfully excruciating ways, such as ingesting paraquat, gramazone, and organophosphates, insecticides, weedicides. These patients suffer tremendously before dying. We are talking about full organ shutdown, inability to breathe, inability to pass urine, inability to eat or swallow because the lining of the food tract is destroyed, vomiting, blisters everywhere. The list goes on and on until eventually your heart stops.
If you or anyone you know are having these symptoms, pay attention, even to items in the home that can be easily in sight. We're going to take a short break now, but when we come back, we look at how exercise can help manage and in some cases prevent the onset of depression.
At
At Athena Clinic, we're committed to helping you boost your confidence and live your best life. Enhance your appearance with a non-surgical procedure or optimize your health with one of our expert doctor consultations and diet and fitness plan. Call today at 282-2262.
Are you looking for a customizable studio space with green and white screen cyclorama and professional production equipment to carry out your next big project? SGP Studios is the perfect fit for you. TNT's largest studio space with an overhead lighting grid and sound treated, perfect for television commercials, music videos, television programs, social media content, and film productions. We also have a wide range of production equipment available for rental. You can choose from a selection of Netflix approved cameras, modern lighting equipment, professional audio gear, 40-foot and 20-foot cranes, gimbals, drones, lenses, action cameras, and more, all at competitive prices. Whether you need a high-end cinema camera for a feature film shoot, specialized lighting equipment for a music video, or audio gear for a podcast, we've got you covered. And with our easy online booking system, you can reserve the gear you need in just a few clicks. Check us out online at sgpstudios.com.
Welcome back to the Doctor's Journal. I'm Dr. Sunrain, and we have the lovely Dr. Brittany Dean, who's going to teach us a little bit about yoga today, which is going to not only help us with our physical health, but also our mental health.
Okay, so today we're going to start with some breath work. This is going to center our minds and focus our attention to the present day, as well as relax our minds and bodies and get us prepared for our flow. So, all we have to do is breathe in and breathe out. In and out. And you can do this for as how many breaths as you'd like. And now, let's just get into our flow. So, the first pose we're going to do is child's pose. We'll get on all fours. And then we're just gently going to slide our way back, slide our hands forward. And we're going to keep breathing throughout all our poses. So again, we can hold this for about 10 seconds. And then back up. And we're going to go right into our next pose, which is downward dog. Ready? And here we're going to try to keep our heels planted firmly to the ground. This is good for our calves as well as our shoulders. Again, hold it for 10 seconds and back down. And if you want to relax a little bit, just go back into child's pose. So we're going to get a little bit more advanced now. We're going to stand up. Next way. Right. So breathe in and out. Separate our legs. The front leg is going to face the front of the mat, and the back leg is going to be parallel to the back of the mat. Yeah. So we're going to breathe in and out and slowly come forward. We're going to hold this for 10 seconds. Again, this is great for our upper arms as well as our legs. Breathe in and breathe out. You doing okay there, Dr. Mike? And forward. And pay attention to your breath throughout all this. And again, next side. Front foot facing forward, back foot parallel to the side of the mat. And in and out. Inhale and back. And forward. And just take a deep breath. And now we're going to do my favorite pose, the easiest one of them all, Savasana. So we're just going to lie on the mat, palms facing upward, and breathe in and out. And you can stay here as long as you like. So those are just a few poses that can help with both our mental and physical health. And fun fact, the Harvard Medical School actually published studies that stated doing yoga every day reduces cortisol levels, which reduces stress levels and can help combat depressive symptoms as well.
How many times would you recommend people do yoga for the week?
Well, I would recommend every day you can do a little bit of yoga. However, if you can't, 3 times for the week is enough to see a great result.
Depression, when caught in time, can be treated effectively and managed so that you and your loved ones never have to experience the damaging effects of this condition.
If any of this information resonates with you, always remember, it is never too late to ask for help, and also know that this too shall pass. You've been watching the Doctor's Journal. I'm Dr. Mike.
And I'm Dr. Sunarine. Take care of you for us. See you soon.
The Doctor's Journal was brought to you by O Snacks and Medical Associates Hospital.